Well, hello again, sports fans. This is another search video. Struan, pictured here, has lost his nice shiny new scanner. Witnesses report that for reasons unknown she went into a vertical dive under full throttle and disappeared behind a line of trees to the west of the flight box. Several ground searches have failed to locate it, but it's in fairly tough terrain with quite thick blackberry and reeds to be negotiated. She went missing about a week ago, but the venture's been under repair after my last rescue mission, so it's taken me this long to get it airworthy again. I'd managed to track down Ray's missing Pete special. They're not in real time, but while I was still searching, I had a bit of a flyaway with the venture. I'm not quite sure what happened, but she went herring off to the south at a rapid rate of knots and was only pulled up by hitting some trees. So needless to say, after the crash there were a few things that needed to be tweaked, including propellers and a new GPS module, but hopefully she's fighting fit again. So the plan is to head for the tree line where the witnesses say the plane disappeared and do some low-level passes with the venture with the Mobius camera facing down and hopefully recording high definition video of the ground. I'm just doing some stability tests to make sure she's not going to fly away again. I've had to fit new props and it looks like they need balancing pretty badly. They're very noisy and the camera is very juddery, so something to look at on the next flight. So I point the Mobius down at the ground and head off. So the insert shows the view that I'm looking at on the monitor. I can switch between the downward view and the monitored view. The view from the monitor has the telemetry overlaid on it, including the GPS coordinates, which are obviously critical if I do spot the plane. Just gaining some altitude and having a look around to get my bearings so I know where I'm going to be going. I decide I'll cross over behind the tree line well short of where the plane space will have gone down and then travel inside the tree line up the creek bed, hopefully covering the entire area. As you can see from the insert, I'm flying from the downward view of the Mobius, trying to stay in the most likely areas. So both sides of the creek are covered in quite dense blackberry bushes. It's about 8 feet high, so it's pretty well impossible to see over the top of from the ground. An aerial view is the only way we're going to spot a plane if it's gone down in that. Just coming up on the area that the ground searchers are most interested in, the slightly darker green patch in the middle is actually a reed bed as opposed to blackberry, but it also is quite dense and difficult to see over the top of. This area I'm just flying over now is 100% blackberry. It's about 10 feet high and dense as anything. If she's gone down in there, I can only imagine we'll be looking for some sort of hole. It'd be hard to imagine that you'd see much of the plane. So I'm just trying to cover the area. I don't really expect to see the plane on the monitor because it's only giving me standard definition, but hopefully something will turn up on this Mobius footage later on. So this is really just about trying to cover the area. So I'm thinking about going back into the hot zone, maybe a bit lower or a little bit further afield to have another go, but then I look at the battery and think, well, I haven't got much flight time left, so I decide to head back and change the battery and have another go later. So it's unlikely that the planes come down in this area. According to the witnesses, it's way too close, but I might as well leave it in just in case somebody spots something that I didn't. So I recognise where I am from the rocky creek bed, and decide we'll switch to the forward camera and fly home. I get a bit of video breakup coming in from this side because I'm side on to the antenna. I'm pretty pleased with how the flight's gone, because on the previous flight before the crash I was having trouble getting the copter to move forward. I've actually even ordered a new set of motors because I thought it was a problem with the motors. But the new GPS module and compass that I've installed seems to have fixed all that. It's really flying quite stable and responding to the controls as it should. So pretty pleased. The lads are all offering up comments about what a wonderful time it is to be alive with this sort of technology available, and hearty congratulations on how well I fly it, of course. So a couple of hours later I decide I'll have another go and try it from a bit of a lower altitude. The weather's degenerated a bit. There's some storms blowing up from the northwest, but and the winds come up a little bit, but I'm still fairly confident after the first flight that she'll be okay. So for this flight I'm crossing the tree line much closer to where the witnesses say the scanner went down, and I'm obviously much lower. I'm trying to be just above the level of the treetops, and once again cover the blackberry and reed beds, which the ground searchers weren't able to get into. There's some bloody big holes in this blackberry. I can only think they're wombats, but geez, they must be big bastards. So I'm trying to do a bit of a grid pattern that takes in both sides of the creek, just backwards and forwards, as I said, just gathering video for the module. I noticed that I'm getting a bit close to this tree and start getting a little bit concerned about it, and just at this point the video goes out completely and I drift straight into it. When the video comes good, I'm not sure whether I'm actually hung up in the tree or just still flying but just caught somehow. I don't have the benefit of the audio on the base station, so I try and back off a couple of times, and when that fails I turn the motor off, and that has a fairly dramatic effect. So Gary and I head off to the GPS coordinates, and she's laying on the ground. Doesn't look like there's too much damage to it, but when I get it home, the one of the front arms is significantly bent. I've straightened it out, but it has a kink in it, which is obviously a weak spot, so I don't know how long it's going to last. I've had a quick test flight in my local park, and it seems to be okay. I've balanced the propellers, which were miles out, so she's flying a little bit more quietly. But if anybody does manage to spot the scanner in the footage, please let me know, and you'll save me risking the thing on yet another mission.